Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tom Kelly. This is Clean Cut Audio, and in this week's Way Too Many Minute Tuesday, I'm going to show you a little trick to help you pace your podcasts a little bit better so that it sounds more natural. All right, let's do it. Many people, especially new editors, are tempted to just rip everything out of their podcast that they don't want in there without paying enough attention to the pacing of their show. And the most common mistake I hear is not leaving enough time after the breath and going into what was an edited portion. What does that mean? Let's check out Pro Tools and let's listen to this audio sample here. Hey, my name is Tom Kelly, and thanks for being here today. So typically people would take out the that happened right here. And when you're ripple deleting or you're shuffle deleting, it's tempting to just highlight the delete it, and then move the portion over so that they're now connecting. But here's the problem. It put the rest of that sentence, thanks for being here today, too close to that breath in a way that's unnatural. There's kind of this weird thing I noticed where people are capable of going from a breath to an faster than something a little more consonant than that. And if you just kind of crush the audio over, it doesn't sound natural. It's too fast. Like a human voice cannot get it out that quickly. So let's listen to it with this kind of rough cut edit here. Hey, my name is Tom Kelly, and thanks for being here today. See, it's just like, it's too fast. It's too quick. Now we could undo it and try to get a little more of the TH in there, fade that in. Hey, my name is Tom Kelly, and thanks for being here today. It's still a little quick and it doesn't sound natural to me. So what I actually like to do for or things that are cut after a breath, rather than just deleting it, what I'll do is I'll highlight the portion that I want to be gone, and I'll hit B in Pro Tools to make it its own clip. And then using clip gain, I know this isn't accessible in every DAW, but there's other ways to do a similar thing. You basically mute that section, and then you can take out some of the middle and then make a fade there. So what we essentially did was we added 150 milliseconds of silence after the breath going into the next phrase. I like to have about 0.2 of a second after breathing going into the next phrase because that seems natural to me. Now, the quickness of going from breath to the phrase is kind of determined by the intensity of the breath. If someone takes a deep breath, you can tell they're going to explode into that next word. So you want the pacing to stay what would be natural. But for this, it wasn't very high energy. We're going to leave 150 milliseconds, which is 1.5 of a second, whatever. And let's listen to this now. Hey, my name is Tom Kelly, and thanks for being here today. So it's a little better. I think there could actually be more time. So if we redo all that, right, we're going to cut the silence it, going to delete a little bit of space in the middle. Now, you could delete it from either end, but I think if you're deleting it from the middle, you don't have to be as accurate of not trimming out parts of the word. So I take it out of the middle, throw a fade through all of it, and since thanks, kind of like, what was the example that I had earlier? With an S, you don't kind of just like explode into that S, it kind of rolls in. So I might add a longer crossfade to allow time for the to develop. But now we still have this 200 milliseconds of silence here, 226. And let's listen to how this sounds. Hey, my name is Tom Kelly, and thanks for being here today. So this allows for a little more natural pacing of the show. It's so easy to just delete and rip that thing over so that you close that gap, but there should be a little bit of a gap there because in natural human speech, if there was no there would be a gap. So we need to make sure that we are creating that because a good edit is an edit that goes undetected. If people hear an edit, it's probably better to just leave that in there. If there's an or a crutch word that I can't work around, I'll leave it because I don't ever want for a second for people to hear an edit. So let's listen to the three things we had. This is the full thing with no edit. Hey, my name is Tom Kelly, and thanks for being here today. All right, and at first we had this, and thanks for being here today. Unnatural, so we make its own clip, silence it, bring in the middle, throw the crossfades, let it roll in, and thanks for being here today. That's way better. So I urge you to really focus on the pacing of your show. You don't want to sound like a robot. There should be some moments of silence. People think when they talk. We don't need to cut every single thing to make it this pristine, free conversation. The purpose of editing is not to get all the ums out. It's to make the podcast as natural and as distraction-free as possible. And too quick of pacing is a distraction because it's not natural. So you're losing on all accounts if you're not paying attention to the pacing. Try to leave 200 milliseconds after a breath. Don't be tempted to cut the beginning of the next phrase right to the end of that breath, because that's not how people take breaths. Let people breathe. Let the silence breathe. Let it flow naturally. We want these conversations to sound real, not edited. And again, a good edit is an edit that goes undetected. Please take this, implement it into your show, implement it into your client show, and let's make some better podcasts. That's it for this week. I got to change the name of 2 Minute Tuesday. It's got to be 5 Minute Friday or whatever Minute Wednesday. I don't know, but you can't do much work in 2 minutes, but I'm going to try to keep these short. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't seen, I've recently announced a new line of t-shirts to show your friends how much you care about the audio quality of your podcast. I got some fun ones below. Check out cleancutaudio.com/shop to find some t-shirts for all the audio nerds, you or others in your life. I'll see you all next week. Thank you for being here. Bye.